hack the world.
Correct.
So I'm curious to learn how do you do that?
Well, it was an hour talk. I can't do it in 2 minutes. By getting ahead and fixing problems that are going to be problems that we particularly think are important, to address them and creatively fix them.
And this is very much connected to the cypherpunk movement and some of the ideas.
More or less, but it's not really a sort of cohesive group. It's just a bunch of people who had similar ideas and like to talk about them and share them. Basically, I think the bottom line for most of us will be something we call voluntarism, which is that things done voluntarily are moral, and things done involuntarily, coercively, however, are immoral. And that's really the basic principle that I think most of us would probably come down to as a core belief. The golden rule, those sorts of things.
Yeah, it reminds me of family as well, right? Often how you raise your kids.
Right.
Take part in family in the chores and what.
There's a great line from Tolstoy, and he says, all happy families are alike. And it's kind of true, because in a family, you really do, in a good family, a healthy family, you embrace the golden rule. How would I like it if I did this to them? Even to a child. You look at it and you go, well, look, she's only 6. How would I deal with her? How will she understand? You can look at it from your adult perspective and say, no, don't do that. But you got to put yourself in the mind of a 6-year-old and interface that way. So it all really comes down to golden rule. What would you like somebody to do to you? That's a good thing to do to them. And that's people here actually believe that and apply it to everything, not just something. In most spheres of life, we apply the golden rule in our family, the people we work with, those sorts of things. But we never apply it to the large things. They're exempt. They're different. They're a higher cause. They're a better thing. We don't think so. We think that if it's moral for an individual, it can't be moral for the collective, for the large, for the high and mighty. There is no second standard. This is the standard. The golden rule is the standard, and these people care about it and think it's the right thing everywhere.
I'm trying to sort of understand how the tools on either side complement one another to achieve some of these goals by these communities.
Right. Well, the tools complement each other because they're pretty much created by the same community of people. So some of us look at privacy, let's say, as the more essential for the moment, and those are the people who work on the privacy things. And the people who think that, we've got to get Bitcoin or Monero or something else and make sure that's strong and it goes, they think that's the most important thing. And so they'll work on that, but really it's all from people with the same basic idea of golden rule, decentralization, voluntarism. So they tend to complement each other very well. But that's really the reason.
Yeah, and decentralization is something that frequently comes up in my my own productions and investigations into these spaces and these communities, most importantly. Can you touch more on why certain types of people are attracted to these communities through these key influential words such as like decentralization or decentralized finance, etc.
Right. Well, that's a very good question. Why do particular people come to this? And it's, of course, with anything humans, very complicated, and there's probably 100 different answers for 100 different people. But it's people who have come for whatever reason to see that something better is possible, that we're not doomed to do just what the big man in the marble house says we have to do. We're able to produce and make new things, and that the things that really matter in the world are not the expensive suits on TV. It's the plumber who comes and fixes our pipes. It's the delivery man who makes sure we have enough groceries. It's the farmer, it's the nurse, it's the electrician. These are the things that really matter in life. And we need to optimize the world to make their life better, to make it easier for them to produce, that the people in the marble houses, the legislators, the high and mighties, the small group that rules everyone else, are first of all not very good people. And second of all, even if they are great, the system itself that they're in makes for corruption. It's too much to go into for all the details, but it makes it. When you have power, when you have people who get to do whatever they want and make the laws that everyone else is going to have to obey, it doesn't produce good results. It doesn't produce good people. It doesn't produce good choices. But if you have decentralized, that anyone can subscribe to or not subscribe to as they wish, then you get systems that are optimized to making people's lives better, not to gaining more power or winning the next popularity contest.
The suite of tools that are available in DeFi, for example, can allow for such sort of dictatorial or communities to rise up. I've sort of seen that, just because of smart contracts, the protocol design is doing it. It's still enriching the founders first, right? And the community second, regardless if it's opt-in or not. So what are sort of like for these people that are attracted to these ideas and looking for alternative ways forward to sort of navigate that landscape? Because unless you can code yourself, proving something's decentralized or not is quite difficult for the regular folk.
Right. What they really need to do is ask the questions that you're just asking. Is there a group of people that are going to be rewarded first? Are we sure that this is on the up and up? Because, look, after 2014, when all of a sudden, hey, people got rich on Bitcoin, everybody in the world has come in to try to get in on the gig. And not all of them have been really philosophically compatible with it. And there's a lot of that going on. And so people need to be careful for this and pay attention to this. The great way of doing it right was Bitcoin, because it was created, it was dropped into the world, it's a protocol, there's no bottleneck, there's no boss, and it just goes. But Satoshi may have gotten rich on collecting Bitcoins, but he did nothing different than anybody else could have done. There was no special privileged position. If there's a privileged position somewhere, you have to begin wondering. Now, that doesn't condemn all privileged positions, because any sort of company, you have to have certain things. But it's a thing to start looking at and to pay attention to. But there are ones that have behaved not the way I would recommend. It's part of life.
In proof of stake, you dump the whole supply onto the market from day one. There's no pre-mine, etc. This is still very difficult to understand if it was a fair launch, given that there are always going to be the devs, the founder of whatever the product is going to. So it's kind of not bulletproof alternative solution.
Correct. Now there's ways to do that. There's none of these things that's inherently bad. The question is, how do you do it? Do you have that launch, and then do you release control and let it? We really want our protocols, not businesses. Okay. It's better that way. So we want to release protocols into the world and let them be used. That's a cleaner model. But people have to eat too, and not everyone has the resources to be able to code for 2 years and put something into the world. They've got to pay their bills and feed their kids. So it's a difficult thing, but it's just one of those human complications. Life is sloppy, and you just have to make your guesses on what you think is probably mostly good, holding open the option that it can go bad, or things that you think, no, that's probably not good, and I'm not going to do that for now. And it's one of those just difficult choices that we all face every day.
Right on. Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime.